The holiday season had always been my favorite time of year. The twinkling lights, the scent of pine filling the house, and the warmth of the fireplace brought a sense of nostalgia that I cherished. This year, however, Christmas felt different. My husband, Mark, had been called away on a last-minute business trip, leaving me to prepare for the festivities alone. I wasn't expecting much of a celebration. With Mark away and my stepson, Jake, stationed overseas with the military, the house felt emptier than usual. I had resigned myself to a quiet Christmas, just me and our golden retriever, Bailey, curled up by the fire with a cup of hot cocoa. But fate had other plans. The morning of Christmas Eve, as I finished placing the last ornament on the tree, my phone rang. The number was unfamiliar, but I answered anyway. "Mom." The voice on the other end made my heart skip a beat. It was Jake. Though he had always called me by my first name, the warmth in his tone sent a rush of emotion through me. "Jake, is everything okay?" I asked, trying to steady my voice. "I'm home. Well, almost. My flight just landed." For a moment, I stood frozen in shock. I hadn't seen Jake in over a year. The thought of him being home for Christmas filled me with overwhelming joy. "Where are you? I'll come get you right now." He chuckled. "No need. I already got a cab. I'll be home in about an hour." Hanging up the phone, I barely had time to process my emotions before springing into action. I rushed to the kitchen, checking the fridge to ensure I had everything I needed for a proper Christmas dinner. Thankfully, I had prepared more than enough food, despite expecting to spend the holiday alone. As I put the finishing touches on the table settings, I heard the front door creak open. I turned around just in time to see Jake standing in the doorway, his duffel bag slung over his shoulder, looking taller and stronger than the last time I saw him. His sandy brown hair was slightly longer, and his sharp blue eyes twinkled with mischief. "Surprise," he grinned. I rushed forward, wrapping my arms around him in a tight embrace. "Oh, Jake, you have no idea how happy I am to see you." He laughed, squeezing me back. "I couldn't let you spend Christmas alone, could I?" Bailey barked excitedly, circling around us, his tail wagging furiously. Jake knelt down to ruffle the dog's fur before standing up and taking in the decorations. "The house looks amazing. You really went all out." "Well, Christmas is special," I said with a smile. "And now, it's even more special with you here." As we sat down in the living room, sipping on hot cocoa, Jake shared stories of his time overseas. I listened intently, proud of the man he had become. There was a newfound maturity in him, but he was still the same Jake, kind, strong, and full of life. "Did you tell your dad you were coming?" I asked. He shook his head. "I wanted it to be a surprise. He thinks I'm still on base." I smiled, knowing how thrilled Mark would be when he found out. He's going to be over the moon. As the night wore on, we finished decorating the last of the sugar cookies and watched an old Christmas movie. The warmth and joy in the room were unlike anything I had felt in a long time. The next morning, Christmas Day, I woke up to the sound of laughter echoing through the house. I padded downstairs to find Jake in the kitchen, attempting to make pancakes. Flour covered the counter, and Bailey sat attentively at his feet, waiting for any scraps to fall. "Need some help?" I teased. Jake looked up sheepishly. "Maybe a little. I thought I'd make breakfast for you, but turns out I'm not as good at this as I thought." Laughing, I joined him, and together we managed to salvage the pancakes. As we sat down to eat, Jake pulled out a small box from his pocket and slid it across the table to me. "What's this?" I asked, picking it up. "Just a little something," he said with a grin. Inside was a delicate silver bracelet with a charm shaped like a snowflake. I felt my throat tighten as I looked up at him. "Jake, this is beautiful." He shrugged. "You've always been there for me, even when I didn't make it easy. I just wanted to say thank you." Tears threatened to spill over as I reached across the table and squeezed his hand. "That means more to me than you'll ever know." Just then, the front door opened and Mark stepped inside. His eyes widened in shock as he took in the sight of Jake sitting at the table. "Dad." Jake stood up with a grin. Mark crossed the room in 3 strides and pulled Jake into a hug. "You're home," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. As I watched them, Warmth filled my heart. This was the true meaning of Christmas. Not the decorations or the gifts, but the love of family, the moments shared, and the unexpected joys that made the holiday unforgettable. That Christmas, I received the greatest gift I could have asked for. And I knew, without a doubt, that it was a holiday we would all remember forever.